Today I want to talk to you about grid, which is my opinion the most important thing you need to learn before you start building your design on the editor. In my opinion, this is the tool that will give you the best solution for your design. At least in 90% of the cases, it will make your design process a lot easier and you can do some beautiful things really quick. So what is it? A grid. So CSS Grid is a layout module offer a grid-based layout system with rows and columns, making it easier to design web page without having to use float and positioning. So basically this is how grid look like, and it's built from columns and rows, and you can also add the gaps between the cells. So I found a very good example to show use of grid in a very known website, the Dribble website. In the homepage, they are using grid to display all the content. So if I will inspect it, you can see very clearly that there is a columns here and rows. Rows basically it's how much the content there is, but we have 4 columns here with a gap between the cells, and you can also see that it's very responsive, and you can change the grid layout depending on the screen width, so it's very responsive. So in mobile we have like 1 columns, and tablet we have 2 columns, and in desktop we have 3 and 4 columns. Alright, so let's see in the editor how to use a grid. So basically grid can apply only to a section and containers. So if I select section, I can apply grid to it, and if I add a container, I can apply grid also to containers. So let's delete it and let's apply grid to our section. So when I click apply grid, I get a pre-designed presets for grids, and I can always select a custom and create my own grid layout. So let's start with 3 on 3. Alright, so basically we can control the grid from here. You can hover the lines and you can drag it, and you can also do it for rows, but we can also adjust it from the edit mode. So I go to edit grid, and now I can clearly see my grid. So the columns is each one is 1 fraction, and the rows it's getting some minimum height. Basically this is because editor is protecting us from the section to become 0, and then you won't see the section. So let's say, okay, why it's not like 1 fraction each one of them. So I will show you why it has mean height in pixels. So if I change everything to 1 fraction, you can see that nothing's happened, right? It's basically the same, but it's only basically the same because this section has a mean height of 570 pixels. But if I will remove it, and most of the time we don't need a height for this section because we want everything to be responsive. So if I will remove it, you will see that the section become nothing, and this is the worst case that we have, because if, let's say, I go out with this mode, I can see this my site. Let's say that we have another section, okay? But now it's look like my site have header, footer, and 1 section, but it's not the right. It's not the truth, because we have another section that we don't see. it's like it's not existing, even exist. So basically editor X is protecting us from this behavior, but I mean when you start to build. But so if I will add back the min height for 500 pixels, the section is, let's say, back to life. All right, so we also said that we can add gaps between the cells, right? So this is the horizontal gaps, so I can add, let's say, 50 pixels, and then now you can see that there is a gap between the columns, and this one is for the vertical margins. You can see that I have gaps like this. Another thing is the properties here. We can change to, we have lots of options here, and the editor they are already calculating things for you. Before, when I click percent, it automatically convert the one fraction to percent. So you can see that it's very accurate. Okay, so in pixels or in viewport width, viewport height, you can see that it's all different values. Min max, which is very powerful, and also min max content, and you will use it a lot. And there is also calculation, which is very powerful, and I will show you an example. So I will reverse everything that I do. I will keep this, you know what, let's make only one row. So what I want to do right now, I want to create a full screen, like a hero section that take in 100% of the screen. So let's add, wait, I don't need the 3 rows, I just need one. All right, so let's add let's say we have like a hero image and stretch it to the section. And now I will go to adjust the section, and we said that, wait, I delete the, okay, let's do it again. I want it to be 100 viewport height, right? All right, so let's publish the site and see what happening. So let's view the site. So here I can see that I see the whole image, but when I scroll, you can see that actually it's bigger than my screen. So why this is happening? Basically, it's happening because we have the header. It's taking part of the screen, right? But I will also tell you that we have the Wix banner that it's also taking part of the screen, and this banner is 50 pixels. So what we need to do, we need to calculate the editor X banner and also the header and remove it from the 100 view height. So let's do it. Let's adjust the grid and go to the grid mode again, and instead of 100 VH, we will change it to calculation. And remember that you have to use the parentheses here. So we need a 100 VH, but we need to reduce. We didn't check the header height, so let's check it. So if I click the header, I can see the height is 100 pixels. But to be sure, this is min height. But to be sure, let's change the auto to pixels, and you will see that editor is already calculating it. So we know this header is 100 pixels, and the Wix banner is 50 pixels, so together is 150 pixels. So let's remove it from our calculation. So it's 100 VH minus 150 pixels. Alright, so let's publish the site and see. So when I refresh the page, basically I see almost the same thing, but look, when I scroll just a little bit, I can also see I can see already the footer. So that means this is like a perfect 100 VH using calculation. So grid is very powerful, and let's see a live example how to build something with grid. So I saw this beautiful his editor X banner, this beautiful design. Okay, so basically 90% of the design you can break into grid and build it in the editor very easily. So I take a screenshot of this beautiful design and I add it to my Figma. Okay, so I always need to know on which screen side I'm working on. So this is my screen side. Okay, so I just copy paste here the design and I add a red line here, which is the height of my screen. It's something like this, but basically it's less because the address bar and the bookmarks and things like this. Okay, so I want to take this design and break it into grid system. Okay, so we have one section. Okay, I consider all this design as one section because see the image is long and there is a relationship here between the letters, so I think it's like a one section. So if this one section I will add a grid to it, so I need to think how to break it into grid. So let's first paint our columns. So I imaginarily draw a line here. I will set it to 5 pixels and give it some pink color. Alright, so let's make this one transparent a little bit so we can view our design. Good enough. I can select it. Alright, now let's hide it. Right, let's leave it like this. Okay, so we have like one column and two column, but we have another column right here, something like this. So the image is in one column, the B13 is another column, and the text and this content is in another column. And I can see that I have another column here. Let's make it also pink. So this is what I did. Okay, why I can't select it? Alright, so here I can see that I have, this is the first row and this is the second row. Okay, so here is a good tip if you struggle in, I mean, as long as you will do this process, you will no need to do what I'm going to show you right now, but it's very good practice to do this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read of my my header because I don't need it. So I click don't display, and also the footer. And now I have only one section. This is my design section. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload my design for this section, only for this section. If you have many more, so split it to sections. Okay, so I export it as an image and I'm uploading directly to my editor. So let's change the image, and I already upload my image here. You will see it here. See, and I will unstretch the image, and I will restore the image proportion. Okay, cool. And now I will dock it to the left and set it to be 100%. And oh, I have a grid, so let's delete the grid. Okay, we don't need a grid for now. We will add a grid to the. Okay, so right now, if we publish the site, basically this is how your design should look like, right? This is like your website, but it's an image. We want to make it live. So what I'm going to do, I want to make this one a grid. Okay, so I will select the section and apply grid to it. So I will start, because we already did the thinking, so we need 3 columns and 2 rows, right? So I will go to custom and select 3 columns and 2 rows and apply to the section. Great. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just drag. You can see you can drag the grid, the lines. Wait, I can drag it right now. Okay, I will select, I need to select the section. So I select the section, and you can see when I'm hovering the lines of the grid, I can drag it and place it exactly where I think the grid should be. Alright, so wait, let's do it from the adjust grid mode. I think it's easier. So I will go to my screen width, and I drag this one to the start of the image here, and the second one here, exactly where I need it, and here I want it to end here. You know what, let's make it maybe we'll change it later. Okay, so you can see that I am already setting the grid exactly as it's in my design, right? So you can see that this is super responsive. When I drag it, when I reduce my screen width, okay, and I select again, you can see the line is stay exactly where I put it. I mean the columns, not the rows, because the rows is affected by the image right now. Okay, so let's go again to my original screen size. And now the second thing I need to do, I need to make the image very transparent. So I will make it something like this. Okay, so I still can see my design. Okay, but I can build on top of this image. So let's start with the image. Okay, so I will add an image to the second row. You can see here that the image is now placing on the second column and end on the third column. This is the third, this is the second, this is the first one. And I can change the position of the image very easily from here. Okay, so we need 2 to 3. Okay, and the image should be 100% from the width of the column, and I need to remove the margin. Now it sits perfectly here. Okay, and now I will drag the image same as it's in my design in the background, and I drag it here also, something like this. Alright, so the image is set, and now we need this text. So I already saved the text, and I was struggling to find this font, so I found something similar. The Platino linotype. Okay, so the font size should be something like this. Maybe it's too big. See the line, it will never be the same because it's not the same font, but I will try to make it as close as it can be. So, well, this is look amazing, semi-similar. Alright, so the second thing we need to do is okay, we have the text, we see it on its own column and row. It's on column 1 and row 1, and we need this B13. Okay, so I duplicate this one and change it to B. You will see it here. This is B, and I will make it center. And look how I take it here with not even touch this one. Okay, so I will set it to be like 100 pixels from top, maybe 15, and I will change the position inside the grid. You need to start on 1, 2, 3. So you need to start on column 3 and end on column 4. And now I will dock it to both sides, so it's get the width from the column, and I will remove the margin. I don't need any margin, I just need a margin from top. It says something like 50 pixels, and remove from the right. And now I need to find a similar font type. Let's set it to be something like a Borto, maybe it's too bold, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's stay with, okay, Helvetica, I think, something like this. Alright, so it should be really big. So 200, no, it's not enough. I need 300 maybe. 350. 380. Alright, something like this. And I can drag it a little bit to top. You know what? Let's keep it that way. Okay, something like this. And now I will duplicate it. I did. Yes, it's just getting far. Where is it? Oh, it's exactly here. No, it's not. This one we don't need. Where is it? Okay, it's right here. Alright, so it needs to 3 on 4, and now I can drag it here, something like this, and oh no, we click stack. Alright, I will change it to B1, and come on, man. Alright, so B, and we have 1, and let's duplicate it, and this will be 3. Alright, so now we know that these 3 letters have a relationship between them, right? Because they are basically always together. So I can stack them together and just play with the margins. Okay, so each one of them should be 100% width, and let's set the margin will be 30 pixels. Here it will be 20, and I will remove the margin and set it to be 100%. And you can see that the stack element is created. When I create a stack, it's like a div warping all these elements inside of it. So each one of them is 100% width, and I need to make sure that the stack itself is on the right column, right? So this is the case, and I will sit it perfectly inside its own column. Alright, and I will remove the margin, so now it looks something like this. Alright, so I'm just changing the H1 because this is bothering me. It's bad for SEO and accessibility, which we don't need to care, but you know, it's I'm used to it. So okay, from some reason I deleted my image, so let's bring it back. So it should be this, and like this. All right, so next thing, I need to take the color of the text. I will inspect it from here. I will get it like this. This is the pink color. I'll copy it. I will go to my theme and colors and add a color. I will change this one. Oh, sorry, I need to click here and change the theme for this pink, and I need a brown also. I will select it like this and change, let's say, change this one to the brown. All right, so now I can set the section color to be that brown and the text to be this pink. Great. And also I have this text. I need to update the pink color. Great. And we need this image. So what should I do? I can copy it from here. I can open it in new tab, and I will make some zoom, and I will copy it. I will screenshot and take part of it, and now I will change the image and upload it. Come on, it's just 2 mega. All right, beautiful. So I will just hide for a second this image, don't display, and publish the site. And remember that I designed for this screen width, so I should see it a little bit different. So I will duplicate this one. Remember that this is hold only the image, and refresh it. Okay, so it's not identical at all, but we will get there. But you can see that the image is almost perfectly placed in the same position. All right, so So if we will go to our design, we create like this text, the image, and these columns with the text. But here I can see I have it's a little bit more complicated than just to add another columns and rows to this part, right? So what if you remember, we talked about that we can add a grid also to a container. So what I'm going to do, I will going to create a container here, okay, like this. I will remove add a slightly background color, and I will make a grid like this, okay. So something like this, okay. And I will not add another row here because I will make this text element stack, so they stack together. All right, so let's add a container, and for now I will stretch it, okay, and I will apply grid to it, and let's add, we said 2 rows, right? So we need a text element. Let's take a paragraph, and we need, let's change the color to pink, and I won't be so accurate because I don't have the content and everything, so I will not stop for any design. Alright, so very not the most accurate way. Alright, so we have 1 text, 2 text, 3 text, okay, so let's create another one, and this one should have a lot of text. Alright, even more, and make this text a bit smaller, and something like this. And now we can stack them together, okay, so I click on 3 of them and stack them together, and I will make sure it's on 100%. All right, and we need basically something, it's not the same, but let's delete it, make it bold, it'll be bigger, and okay. And now I can duplicate it. It's not exactly the same, but you know, just for the layouting, so it's not the most important thing. So I can copy this design and paste it here, and now it's identical, and I will place it, I will copy paste this text, and yeah, and you can see that this is not identical, right? So I will change it to something like this, and I think it's good enough for us. Just change the hierarchy of the length of the text to be something like this. Alright, so now all I need to do, I need to make everything responsive, right? So I need to remove the background image. Wait, I have a line here to the container, so I will remove it, a border. And now let's inspect our section grid. So I can see this row has min height of 780, so we don't need it. Basically what we need to happen is that this row, the first row, will take its height from only the title, okay, because this image is continued to the second row, and also this stack elements is continued to the second row. So I need to set it to be max content. Okay, so now you can see that if I will remove, right, there is something here that's taking space from this. Basically this line should be stuck to the text. Okay, so let's find the element that caused this. So we have the image. This is the h1 big title. This is the container, which is stacked, so there is no way it's making. Oh, basically this is the background image that we passed. We can get rid of it, and so let's check our section. It has min height of itself, you see. Let's remove it, and what causes this row to be higher than it should be? Okay, so let's add margin to this text. Basically it should kept something like I need to add so this is, here's the rectangle, here's the rectangle, so it's something like 170 pixels. So let's set it to, because we have an error here, so let's add 150. Oh, sorry, from bottom. And from top, something like 40 pixels. Alright, so now the image, we can see that the image is also error here, so it's something like 145 pixels. From bottom, it's like it's pushing, and okay, it's look okay, and this text element should be in the same line as this one. So let's add margin to it. No, it's too much. 10 pixels. Alright, so now what we need to do, we need to make everything responsive. So if I will publish the site right now, you will see that it's not scaling very well. Okay, you can see that when I shrink the size, this text is not responsive. Also this text, wait, where is the, okay, now you see it's not the most responsive thing. So I will add text scale. This is 118 pixels, so 118 pixels. Let's keep it to a 10, and let's see what happened when we shrink the screen. Look how responsive it became. Great. So let's do the same thing for these big letters. So 380 All right, so the most easiest way is to copy element design and paste it like this. So I will do it again, and let's publish it and see how it reacts. Okay, much better, right? So when I shrink my size, it's become more responsive. Okay, so we can do the same thing for this one, but before I will do it, I need to make sure that each margin that I have, I can convert them to percent, and then it will be, sorry, but I need to do it in the right screen size. So now everything will be more responsive. This margin and the stack margin from top. All right, let's remove the bold. I think it's too heavy, you know. All right, so same here, I need to change the margin to percent. And now you can see that this is a lot better. So basically responsive, you don't need to test like this, you need to test it like this, because when the screen width is changing, also the height basically is changing. So look how responsive it became. So but basically we need to change the design in tablet also, because you see it's not working. Okay, yes, but in desktop this is very responsive. We can easily change the behavior of the grid in different breakpoint very quickly. So the first option is to click adjust grid, and then you have like presets, but because this design is more complex, so I will do it manually. So first thing we need to think how to break it. Okay, so in my opinion, I let's say that I want to keep the image and the big text here. So I don't know, maybe it's look better for me, but let's play with it. So let's say we want now margin for 50 pixels from top, also for the image. But now I want the image to take 2 columns, okay, not 3. You know what? Also I want these stack elements to be on top of the image. Okay, so I don't need this column, right? So I can delete it. And you can see that I delete it here in tablet, but in desktop it's still there. See, I have 3 here and only 2 on tablet. This is part of the cascading rule. But where the stack is gone? Okay, I just need to bring it to the front. All right, so now I want this image to be 100%, but I want to make it smaller. Sorry, not 100%. Let's say 80%. And I can drag it from here. I need to select the section, and I'll drag it to take this part. And I can center the image like this, and also the stack element, make it center. All right, so now we have more room to this text, but I think my decision is not the best. Let's think about something else. We need more room for the text. Oh, I have another idea. So basically we can adjust this container grid cell. Let's edit cell. Basically we can adjust grid and quickly switch it to rows. And now I can remove the big margin to, let's say, 10% here and 10% here. Also for this one, let's add another margin from top. And look what I can do right now. I can basically, let's make this text bigger. Sorry, it's too big. 80. All right. Let's make it. Like this. And I can tell the image and the stack element to be sticky. And then when I scroll it, it needs to be sticky 50 pixels from top because we have margin, so I set it to 50. And now I need to select the stack element, and I know it's behind the image, because when you set element to sticky, it's become the first one. So I can arrange send it to back and select the stack element, and I can see that it has a margin from top 70. I can set it to sticky to 70 pixels from top. And now let's say that we finished to build our design for tablet, and now we will refresh the page and I will go to tablet mode. You see how the design is changing, but look what happened when I scroll. The image is come with me. How nice is this? So this is the power of grid. You can really design your, you can break your design into a section, and then you need to break it to grid, and then all you need to do is position the elements in the most accurate way inside the editor. And you can see that this is the image version, right? You can see that I can drag the image here, and this is the image. But this is the image version of the site, the most accurate design that we designed in some design software. Okay, and this is what I create like in, I don't know, 20 minutes. Okay, and you need to remember that I don't have the right font size, and I don't have the right sketch file, or Figma or whatever the design file. I just, guessing what is going on here, and I don't have the content, but you can see how it's similar, right? And it's all, I mean, if I shrink the screen size, okay, if to something like 1,100 pixels, okay, and I will go to the image, and it's not the same because everything here is scaling too much. You can see you can't read this one, but in general it's you can see the big of the height and the width of the image, and the text element, it's like very close. If I will work a little bit more, I will get the identical results, I mean, in the most accurate way that I can. So again, I think the grid is the most powerful tool of Editor X, and for you to be able to build a good website in most efficient way, more close to your design. This is the best tool you need to learn. So play with it a lot, and when you will control it, you can build an amazing site. So I wish you good luck, and I hope I was explaining myself. And if you have any questions, feel free to write in the comments, and I will answer you happily.